Hey guys, back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about something to expect. And if you're going through this, something that you've probably experienced as well. And it's, I guess you would call it mocking, So it's kind of like the image that came to my mind. When there's like a little kid, right? A little kid always hates to be mocked. Like, I just have this image of like a little kid just throwing a fit, right? And then the more like the brother, let's say there's two little kids, the more the brother is like mocking them, especially as they're having like a bad day or like already in a bad mood or in a like kind of tantrum, like they lose it, right? They start acting like them and crying like them, and it just like it sends them further down to destruction, right? And I feel like that's how this mocking is used in the gang stalking whole ordeal. Is like, you're going through so many other things, and on top of that, you're getting mocked and made fun of and ridiculed on that side of things. So it's like it just adds to the sting. No one likes to be mocked, right? No one likes to be made fun of, but especially when you're going through everything that is involved in the gang stalking, it's like it's just one more like deep jab. So it's not like we grow up and mocking becomes fun to us. Like, it's still that same feeling that when you're a little kid, that's like, it hurts, right? And it does damage, which is why they do it. And I'm just thinking how like strange it is that strangers knowing certain things about you or secrets about you, things you're going through, will like throw it back in your face and like make fun of it. And it's so weird, right? But I just wanted to talk about that a little bit and then give some specific stories. And I have a like, now I'm thinking about it, I have a lot of stories that I could share. So I'm trying to figure out which one I want to share. All right, so one time I'm at this bus stop, and this is like right when like this is kind of like my second round of stalking, where it like cleared up for a long time and I was doing good, right? Serving God and moving forward in life, but I started backsliding and losing a lot of ground that I've gained. And I've realized that for me, the gang stalking starts when I'm like out of position with God. And it's almost like a form of discipline, which isn't a bad thing, by the way. But so anyways, I say all that. So I'm at this bus stop, and this is when it started like ramping up again, maybe for like a couple days at this point. And they were really gnarly days. Like, it was like it went from very, very little to almost worse than it ever got, because I feel like the spirits knew I was coming back to God, because in my heart I had decided like I have to get right with God again. Like, this life sucks, I'm losing everything, like, and my grip on everything was just slipping, right? So in my heart I had already decided like I'm coming back to God. I was just kind of waiting till I knew what it was going to take, right? I was going to have to get off the drugs and really dedicate absolutely everything into it. And I just didn't feel like I had it in me at this point, because I have done this so many times where I like self-destruct and then I have to piece it all back together, right? So I knew what it was going to take, and I basically wasn't there yet. And God had given me, this is the thing, God had given me a lot of opportunities to come back, humble myself before this had happened. Like, multiple opportunities. God had like people reaching out to me, offering me help, and my pride wasn't allowing me to take that. So that's what I'm saying. This was like a corrective measure. So like God's like, okay, well, let's put you back through the whole ringer of demonic torment and see if that humbles you. And it did. Right. So at this point, I'm at the bus stop, and this dude's on the phone by me. And this is a whole mocking little deal, right? He's on the phone, and he's like, and he was saying it in a tone that was just like, he was like trying to make fun of me, right? And he's like, yeah, he's like, I don't understand. He's like, why? He's like, why am I a target? Like, and I wouldn't talk like this at this point, because I had already understood what it was. So I wasn't complaining to people about this. Like, I already knew what was up. But this dude was like trying to get me to like, angry that he's making fun of me. So the conversation goes like this. He's on the phone. He's like, I'm like, it's like everyone is making fun of me and I'm the target of some joke. I don't understand it. Like, why me? What did I ever do to deserve this? Like, and he's just going on and on, right? And I'm not thinking like that at all, but in the past, I feel like, maybe I have felt like that, at least somewhat, at least really confused of like why I'm getting messed with. Not so much the poor me thing. I've never really felt like that, because I knew, in some ways I had it coming, the way I was living. But I just didn't understand why. Like, how is this happening and how are they pulling it off? Who's doing it? All those things. So this guy's like going on and on, right? Just like, and I don't respond at all. I'm just like, I'm kind of like laughing at this point. I'm just like, it's crazy. Here we go again, basically. So, I get on the bus, and like I said, it was just turned up this day. It was just like crazy. Earlier that day in the morning, it wasn't cold, but I was using drugs, right? So I was with someone, and I'm like, man, I'm freezing, And I said that a couple of times to the person I was with. And so this ties in. So when I'm on the bus, there's a radio station playing, and then it was like a forecast, right? So it's talking about the weather, and it's like, he's like, the weather guy's like, it's clear outside, it's sunny and 70 degrees, right? And then like in the background of it, it was like oh my gosh, how do they do this? I don't know, but it was like, I'm freezing. Like super faintly, right? But it sounded like just a little whiny voice, like, I'm freezing. And they kept saying it, right? And I was just like, gosh, dude. So I'm just getting hit like from all sides. Oh, but dude, at the time, I'm just like, I'm obviously pissed, right? No one likes to be mocked and jeered at like that, and I'm just like, really, on the freaking radio station? So I don't know how they pulled that off, but yeah, those are a couple things that happened. Let's see, another one. Oh gosh, I had another one. Oh, I remember people always saying stuff about God, right? And it was like so I feel like the mocking thing is like actually a spirit, There's like antichrist spirits, and there's spirits of like mockery, that they will mock things that are holy, things that are pure to God. Like, basically, it's like the things that God honors, like these spirits like mock. And you can see this all throughout our culture today. You see it in pop culture. You see it, in the music awards. You see it in music videos. You see it, just people have this spirit of just mockery and stuff. So I remember there was times where I would be around people, and they would say a little slick stuff. Like, I would say, like, oh, like one dude that I was like hanging out with was saying stuff about, he's like, oh, God boy. And then like when I would come around, like he would kind of like shut up about it, but he would say little slick stuff here and there. And then like another time, I was walking down the street and this lady's just yelling like all possessed. She's like, God's not real, God's not real. And then she's like getting super vulgar and stuff. Another time, I already told this story. So they would send these people around me, like, and you'll experience this, like people that will try to act like you or dress like you, or they'll mimic you and mock you in certain ways, but they'll do it in a way that's like they're just clowning you, you know? And so I told this story on another one, and it was titled like Street Theater. If you want to go back, I'll put it in the description if you guys want to hear this whole story. But like this dude, I pulled up to a gas station. This guy has the same exact car as me, same make and model, same dents in it, same rims, right? And I'm pull up and I'm just like, wow, all right, I see what's going on here. And that's the only other car that's there, and it was like late at night at this gas station. And dude comes out and he's just like all smoked out, clearly on drugs, and he was just like white trashed out, right? And it was just like, he's like, hey man, nice car, right? He's like, and then he starts going on and on, right? And so basically they're just using this guy to basically say like, this is what you look like, you know, you're a clown, all this stuff, right? And so it's like, it is yeah, it isn't fun to deal with. Oh, I remember the story I was gonna tell. This one was kind of crazy. So I'll put that one, the full story, on the description if you want to see that. Some of you that are new to my channels, or my channel and my videos. So some of my older videos, I've talked more in depth about some of these things, but I haven't shared this one. And this one was crazy, right? So I went to a gas station with a buddy one time when this all started again, and my buddy did something that was like embarrassing to me, like the way he was acting at the gas station. And so I had a conversation with him. I said his name, and then I was kind of harsh with him, right? So I said a sentence to him. I can't remember exactly what I said. I was kind of harsh with him, and then I instantly like felt bad, and I like corrected myself and was just like, oh, it's all right, man, like, you know. But I came off like a little aggressive, and then I pulled back and said something to him and was just like kind of apologized. And it was like a week after that, I pulled up to the same exact gas station, and I get out of the car and I hear the same conversation that I had with my friend. They used his name, they used what was said, they did it in a really mocky tone, like basically kind of like throwing like shade on me for talking to my friend like that, which I kind of felt bad about it already. And so it was just kind of like, you know, insult to injury, right? And they were at the same pump that I pumped the gas at that day. So I get out of my car and I hear this dude's like going on saying the same conversation like verbatim a week after this happened, where I was saying it. And so it's just like, okay, how'd they do that? You're telling me like, you know, they watched me at the gas station and they were sitting there waiting for me to pull up to, you know, reenact this whole convo and scene at the same pump. It's just like, it's strange stuff, you guys. And I don't think it's done originated in the physical. I think it's all like spiritual. You know, I think these spirits monitor you, and they work through people to like orchestrate all these like street theater strange things, right? That just has you like kind of scratching your head like what's really going on here. So I have more stories that I'll probably share later. I don't want this video to be too long, but those are some things that I've experienced, and I know I know you guys have had similar things happen to you because of how often this would happen, you know. And there's things that I can't even really remember, because most of the time these things happen, I never played into them. I never really reacted. I'm just peeping and like, okay, I see what's going on here. And I would mind my own business and not get involved in their little schemes, right? So they wouldn't get a reaction out of me. Not one that they could see, at least. But inwardly, I'm like, you know, it would make me angry. It would be confusing, or just like, how are they doing this? But, you know, I would just be like, okay. So I think a lot of times they're looking for a reaction, and they're trying to get you to make a fool of yourself, you know? Because, like, what if I would have reacted to that gas station thing? Like, I would have just looked so crazy. Like, oh, you copying me? What's going on? Like, and make a scene, right? Get me arrested. Let's say I fade the dude out or whatever, and I get arrested. It's like, that's just adding to the trouble in your life. So they're trying to get you to react in a way that is fleshly and stuff, but don't do it. You got to fight these things spiritually. You have to. My buddy's looking at me. You have to fight these things through prayer and just doing things God's way. And there's a lot of things that can get us trapped if we don't pause, if we're not quick to speak and slow to get angry. You know, we can react and catch charges, or just make our life miserable, which is something that happens to a lot of people, right? So that's what I have for you guys today. I have a lot more ideas and stories, teachings, things that'll help coming forward. I'm just trying to put a lot of my stories out there to get people to realize, like, first of all, see them, and you know, realize that I've really been through this. Like, I'm not sitting here making up stories. Like, trust me, I'm not good in that way. I don't talk about stuff I haven't been through. I don't care to. I'm not around people that do that. I don't want to hear BS stories. Like, I'm just telling you, like, I'm not with that. Everything that I speak about is something that I've had to go through. And so I'm not on here like poaching people's stories or experiences. I'm just sharing my heart, you know. So I know most of you guys that have came back to watching me understand that. I'm speaking to people that are maybe first-time viewers, but my heart is basically to point people to the way out. And I can tell you how I got out, but I can't make it happen for you. Like, this is something I can show you the door, but you're gonna have to walk through it, and the door is Jesus. And he can deliver you from all this stuff. I know that because he's done it for me. He's healed me of all like the trauma that was involved. That's why, like, forgive me if it's offensive if you're going through this and I'm laughing about certain stuff. I don't mean it in a disrespectful way or like an insensitive way. I know it's like really serious and it's hard when you're going through it, but that just shows you how much God's pulled me out of it, because I can literally look at the things that they've done to me and like just kind of laugh at the ridiculousness of it, because I've got a lot of healing already from it, and I'm on the other side of it, where it's like now if you guys have seen my other videos, I am grateful for the experience because it taught me so much. Like I had to tighten up in every single way to overcome this and to move forward in my life. And like, you know, God gave me the wisdom and the authority and power to like shut this stuff down in my life, right? But until you realize it's spiritual, like you're battling the symptoms and not the root, right? And you're not going to get free. You're going to wear yourself out. You're going to get tired. You're going to get depressed. You're going to be angry and bitter. You're going to be filled with rage. You're going to start changing as a person. You're going to become callous. You're going to, you know, be in fear. Your relationships are all going to suffer. You might end up in jail, psych ward. You might end up dead doing something crazy, right? Or killing someone. And I got some more stories on that too. Yeah. So like each time I do these videos, like I'm reminded of more things that I've went through in different angles, and also just the schemes and the tactics that they're using, right? They use our fallen nature to keep us trapped a lot of times. And that might not make sense to you if you have no spiritual understanding or biblical understanding, if you don't know God, like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, until you're able to get wisdom from God, like, you're trapped because you don't even understand what type of trap you're in. You can't even see it. You can't understand it. And that's the advantage that these spirits have over you. You know, they've studied humanity. They know how humans work generally. So they're running these patterns and these things, these tactics and these schemes that have worked over and over and over, right? That's why my situation is similar to yours, is similar to another person that's been through this, because they're playing on percentages and they're playing on human behavior and fallen nature, right? And they're not playing fair. They're not playing so you can win. Like, they're trying to destroy you. They're trying to hinder you. They're trying to block you. They're trying to, you know, create wounds, trauma, fear, all those things that I was mentioning, right? It's like, but the good news is that God will teach us how to overcome. God always gives us the victory in Christ Jesus. So I'm telling you, you need to seek God with all your heart. You need to accept Jesus into your life. You need to surrender your will over to God, and he'll teach you how to like step over and step out of all these traps. And so that's why I'm making videos in the grand scheme. Like, I'm not trying to backdoor religion, but I am telling you that Jesus is real. Like, it's the only reason I'm here, healthy, in my right mind, right? I have joy, peace, I have good things in my life, right? It's because of Jesus. It's not because like I figured it all out and I'm smart. It's like, no, like, in spite of all my mistakes and the things that I failed at, God has still allowed me to overcome. Like, even with all the stuff that I've done after knowing him, it's like, as long as I go back to him in sincerity and humility, God always lifts me up. Always, out of all my situations. You know, I have no criminal record, which is a miracle. I'm free. Like, it's crazy. Like, I can go on and on, right? But I say all that just to encourage you that there is a way out. And I believe as long as this is happening, we have things to learn from it. So I'm going to get more into depth with all that stuff that I just dropped. And that might seem like a lot, or you might not believe it or whatever. But if anything resonated with you in this video, like, I encourage you to subscribe, because I'm going to I have a plan for what I'm going to do. Like, God's given me kind of like things, a vision moving forward for this channel, and just ways that it can be a blessing to you, you know. So we'll see you on the next one. I'm gonna try to be a little more consistent with these, and put out what God puts on my heart, and just trust that it's gonna make a difference in your life. And yeah, you'll be blessed from it. So I'll catch you guys later. Hope you have a good day.